gadgets. This video was produced today with my new DJI Pocket 2 camera, starring Ron Brown, myself, and filmed by Steve Jordan with Ron's new DJI Pocket 2 camera. Now, the Jordans are our first company since the COVID restrictions have been relaxed. They are our in-laws, but we call them outlaws because they live in Williams Lake in northern British Columbia, where we often visit them to golf. Now, we'd like to make a statement saying that there were no animals hurt in making this video, but some alcohol was consumed. Many of you know that I've made a very popular video called Saving Your Life with Wearable Technology. This video is going to be called Saving Your Life with Wearable Air Conditioning. Now, for those of you who want more information about this device, you can go to our very famous Facebook page called Tech for Senior. You scroll down and you will see an article posted called the 11 Best Wearable Air Conditioners for 2021. There, all the units will be listed with the price and availability. Now, notable mention in this video are Bill James, Hewie Poplock, and Bob Gostisha, who don't have one of these devices and are green with envy. In preparation for the Jordans' arrival, I had to cut the grass. And oh, I kept cool with my portable wearable air conditioner. Even watering the plants was made easy by the 3-speed fan. We had to take a trip to the New Tradition pub, which is 1 block from my house. This was to see if drinking beer would be better with this cool technology, and I can confirm it was. This was again confirmed at our traditional crab dinner that evening. This production was done by Back End Technology, Ron Brown, and Steve Jordan. There you go.
Wow.
That stinks.
I am green with envy.
There you go. I told you.
Oh, wow.
Work. My topic is the title of an article I read this past week in hopkinsmedicine.org, the website of Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore. For what it's worth, my wife Joanne wears a 3-year-old Fitbit Alta HR, an activity tracker that also tracks her sleep. Millions of wrists now sport devices that monitor everything from heart rate by tracking pulse to blood oxygen saturation with an onboard pulse oximeter. And the newest trackers are able to do a relatively respectable ECG, electrocardiogram. Sleep tracker features vary, but common capabilities include sleep duration. By tracking the time you're active, sleep trackers record when you fall asleep and wake up. Sleep quality. Trackers can detect activity in your sleep, like when you're tossing and turning or waking up. Environmental factors. Some devices record environmental factors, like the amount of light or the temperature in your bedroom. There's lifestyle factors. Some trackers prompt you to enter information about activities that can affect your sleep, such as how much caffeine you've had, when you've eaten, and other pre-sleep activities. So what does a typical sleep cycle look like? Well, stage 1 lasts only a few minutes and the sleep is shallow. Stage 2, brain waves begin to slow. Stages 3 and 4, you move into a deeper sleep that's harder to wake from. It's the time when your body repairs itself and boosts your immune system. Rapid eye movement is another one. That's, you know about REM. It's during this final stage in the sleep cycle, your brain becomes more active and dreams occur. Your brain is processing information and storing long-term memories. This cycle repeats every 90 to 110 minutes. And as sleep progresses, REM cycles increase in length. I never knew this until I read it in this Johns Hopkins article. One thing sleep trackers don't do is measure sleep directly, according to Dr. Alan Schwartz, director of a sleep disorders center at Johns Hopkins. Instead, they typically measure inactivity to guesstimate how much you're actually sleeping. But for exact data, a medical sleep study is necessary. Sleep studies monitor your brain waves to accurately analyze your sleep cycle. This process, which is called polysomnography, is the most reliable method for diagnosing conditions like sleep apnea and other sleep disorders. Still, tracking devices can definitely be useful for helping people recognize patterns in their sleep habits, especially when they aren't sleeping well. For example, do you feel sluggish when you sleep from 10 to 6, but a little more energetic when you change your schedule to an 11 to 7 sleep? Do you sleep better when your bedroom is cooler on days when you exercise? Is your sleep disrupted if you have caffeine after the mid-afternoon? Sleep trackers can give you user-friendly information or reports that make it easy to spot trends. Until about 2 years ago, I left out the word years. Until about 2 years ago, sleep trackers relied permanently on pulse, heart rate readings for their sleep data. The oximeter breakthrough gave trackers the added function to measure blood oxygen saturation. You've likely experienced an oximeter test in your doctor's office. It's when a small clip is placed on your finger, and it's often while your blood pressure is being taken. Sleep tracker oximeters use red and infrared light sensors to detect oxygen levels, sensing changes in the levels by looking at the color of blood. Lower right is a tracker's app readout. By the way, a little side note here. Remember that word infrared, because I'm planning to do a tech talk on infrared barbecue grill technology next Monday. I know that Dr. Ron Brown will really enjoy that. A blood oxygen level greater than 95% is normal and good. Below 92%, there's need to find out why, especially if it occurs during sleep, indicating that the cause may be obstructive sleep apnea, OSA, and thus the need to visit a sleep specialist. In 2013, my wife Joanne told my cardiologist that she strongly believed I have obstructive sleep apnea, OSA. Though I angrily denied it, I was angry with her, but I agreed to see a sleep specialist. I was quickly diagnosed with OSA, and since then, I've faithfully used a CPAP machine nightly, and I have to say my heart health has hugely improved in these 8 years. Most doctors agree that the relationship between low blood oxygen levels and OSA, obstructive sleep apnea, alone is a good reason to wear a sleep tracker with an oximeter function. OSA is a disorder which, left untreated or undetected, could lead to increased high blood pressure, obesity, weakening of heart function, a heart attack, and even a stroke. I guess I'll never know if my May 3rd stroke may have been caused by an apnea event, which is a pause in breathing while sleeping, lasting 10 or more seconds. That's the definition of an apnea. Estimates vary on the percentage of seniors over age 65 who have OSA, though some estimates run as high as 70% for men. A significantly lesser percentage of women have OSA. Knowing blood oxygen saturation levels can also be valuable information for people suffering from conditions that include asthma, pneumonia, heart failure, and lung cancer. I'll now show you 2 of the top models of sleep trackers that include a blood oximeter function working in concert with a smartphone app. Apple's Watch Series 6 and Series 6 only trackers start at $399, and they seem to be setting the standard for other trackers. At minimum, they have sensors for heart rate, a blood oxygen saturation oximeter, and ECG electrocardiogram function. The Apple Watch blood oxygen sensor is made up of 4 LED clusters and 4 photodiodes on the bottom of the watch, and it works intermittently during the day when light conditions allow. It does work much better at night, and a special Apple Health app records its many frequent readings. In fact, all Apple's Series 6 watch tracker functions work with individual function apps that are a part of Apple's Health app, a huge app. Each app needs to first be properly set up to perform as seen here. The blood oximeter app is shown at the right. Isn't that kind of neat? Shows results of blood oxygen at 98%. The ECG function on Apple's Series 6 watches was a momentous achievement for a wearable device. It has provided incentive for other tracker brands like Fitbit, Garmin, Samsung, Huawei, Withings, and so forth to compete even more seriously with their ECG apps. Nevertheless, and here's the disclaimer, Dr. Ron Brown, nevertheless, we need to remember that these now very smart wearables are designed for consumers and are not FDA-approved medical devices. If you own an Android phone, your best choice for a full-featured alternative to Apple's Series 6 watch is, in my opinion, the Fitbit Sense at $298. That's almost it's over $100 cheaper. For extraordinary sleep tracking and the best battery life, the Fitbit Sense is a great choice. The Sense has a slew of sensors, which include heart rate, blood oxygen, FDA-cleared ECG, that's what it said, stress and temperature sensors. It has fitness at its core and strives to be your daily wellness coach through its premium app, which isn't free, by the way. This is the Fitbit Sense. Looks like this. You'll recall, and it has many, many, many different faces. You'll recall that my Tech Talk topic for today asks the question, do sleep trackers really work? I think it's safe to say that the answer is a resounding yes. In fact, when I finished this Tech Talk Sunday afternoon, I was so fired up that I ordered a Fitbit Sense. It'll arrive tomorrow, and I'm really pumped, though I've got to talk Joanne into it a little bit. Well, that's my Tech Talk story for today, and I'm certainly sticking with it, and I'm buying it hook, line, and sinker for that matter. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and the good Lord willing, we'll see you next week.
For desktop is new in July of 2021. I'm Hewie Poplock. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and to ask for notifications when we post new videos. Earlier this year, Google announced that they were working towards unifying backup and sync and Drive files stream into a single sync client called Drive for Desktop. By doing this, they are creating a powerful and unified sync client with the best and most used features from both backup and sync and Drive file system. These are words from Google. Google Workspace customers with backup and sync users would need to transition these users to Drive for Desktop. Here's the timeline for this transition. It started July 19th. Backup and Sync will support a guided flow to help users transition onto Drive for Desktop. Starting August 18th, any user still on Backup and Sync will start to receive in-product notifications prompting them to transition to Drive for Desktop. Starting October 1st, any user still on Backup and Sync after that point will no longer be able to sign into Backup and Sync. To continue syncing with Drive and/or Google Photos, users will need to transition to Drive for Desktop. What it means to sync files and how it works. You can use Drive for Desktop to keep your files in sync between the cloud and your computer. Syncing is the process of downloading files from the cloud and uploading files from your computer's hard drive. After syncing, the files on your computer match the files in the cloud. If you edit, delete, or move a file in one location, the same change happens on the other location. That way, your files are always up to date and can be accessed from any device. What it means to mirror or stream your files. With Drive for Desktop, you can access files stored in Google Drive from your computer. Any changes you make to your files will be synced. All files in shared drives, USBs, and other computers will be streamed from the cloud to your computer. You can choose to mirror or stream your MyDrive files. In Drive for Desktop, you can choose to stream or mirror MyDrive files, as I just said. Your files are found in different places on your computer based on whether you choose to mirror or stream them. When you mirror files, all of MyDrive files are stored in the cloud and on your computer, which takes up hard drive space. All your files will be accessible at any time, even when you don't have an internet connection or the Drive for Desktop app running. Files can be accessed through a folder on your computer. When you stream files, your MyDrive files are stored in the cloud. Hard drive space is only used when you open files and make them available offline. Files that are not available offline can be only accessed when you're connected to the internet. All files, including those available offline, can be accessed only when the app is running. Files can be accessed through a mounted drive on your computer. Google Drive for Desktop app. 4 reasons why you should install it. Once installed, the Google Drive for Desktop app delivers 4 key features for people who use Windows or Mac OS devices. First, it lets you access Google Drive from your local system, i.e. either Apple's Finder on Mac OS or Microsoft's File Explorer on Windows, without the need to open a web browser. Second, it allows you to select and sync files and folders between your device and Google Drive. Third, Drive for Desktop also offers the ability to back up photos, including screenshots and raw photos, to Google Photos. Fourth, you may now sign into as many as 4 different Google accounts at once, which gives you access to files and distinct configuration options for each account. Known issues. You can't currently duplicate Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides. Drive for Desktop currently doesn't support ARM-based Windows laptops and tablets, including the Microsoft Surface Pro X. Drive for Desktop is currently not compatible with Digital Guardian software, antivirus software. Certain virus detection and security software can interfere with the operation of Drive for Desktop. Syncing a folder with both Google Drive for Desktop and another syncing service may cause files to fail to sync with Google Drive or to be removed from Google Drive entirely. Pop-ups. Some users on Drive for Desktop version 41 and prior may report seeing repeated pop-ups to sign in. To access it, it is an icon in your tray. If you right mouse click it, you get some preferences, an error list. You can pause the syncing, and there's some other information, or you can quit. Here are your preferences on Google Drive. You can set it up. My Drive syncing options: stream, uses less hard drive space, use only hard drive space when you open files or make files available offline. That's how I have it set up for stream files. I store all my drive files in the cloud only. And then I choose specific files and folders to make them available offline. And if I decided I would rather mirror the files, I would store all my drive files in the cloud and on my computer. And all files are automatically available offline. Here's what it looks like on my computer. Google Drive is set up as a Google Drive G. When I open the Drive G, it shows my drive, and when I double click on my drive, I get all of my folders, and you'll notice there's a little cloud next to them, meaning that it's out in the cloud, not local. So let's get to a demo. I have opened up this PC so you can see all of the drives that I have on the system. Currently, we have a local drive C. We have an SD card in my computer, which is drive D. I've added a USB stick, and it designated it as drive E. And then by default, when I installed Drive for Windows, it created a Google Drive and gave it the letter G for Google, which is a good idea. And it fills in the drive letters before it, and if I added more drives, they would come after the letter G, and I believe you can change easily the drive letter for Google Drive if you needed to. So you can see here, all of my drive items are here. My OneDrive, let's make that a little bit smaller so you can see everything. First, we've got our quick access, and I do have Google Drive on the quick access, so it goes to the top. It's also down here, same drive. And you can see the other drives that are here as well. If we double click on it, it'll open up the Google Drive, and it holds my drive. And if I double click my drive, it shows me all of the folders that are on my drive. And you'll notice that there are little clouds on each of the folders, meaning that it is only in the cloud. It is not on my local machine. We're going to open a second instance of this PC, and you'll see that it was just like this one was before we went down to the letter G and then my drive and then the folders in my drive. Now on the right, what I'd like to do is open up my USB stick. So I am going to go to a folder to show you how easily you can move a folder or groups of files and folders. Let's take the Views and Reviews folder, and I am just going to drag it from one side to the other. Now, remember the default when you're going from one drive to another drive is you're copying the files. If you click and drag on the same drive, you actually move them. You can right mouse click and choose, and I'm going to do that just so you can see how you do that. I'm going to right mouse click, and I'm going to drag that over here, and I'm going to let go. And you will see it says copy here in bold. That means that's the default. I could move it here, I could create a shortcut, or I could just cancel. I like to, when I either copy or move something, I do like to right mouse click and drag it. In case I put it in the wrong spot, I can cancel it. But in this case, we're going to tell it to go ahead and copy it. And now watch. You can see that it's taking some time. It's a total of 185 items. It's moving it from my drive to my USB stick, which is the drive E. It's created the folder now. It's 51% complete. You're seeing this real time. I didn't want to speed it up. I want you to have an idea. And we're going to look at the size of that folder when we're done. I'm going to show you how to do that. And it's complete. Now, I have a very fast computer, so it might not be that fast on your computer. Now, just for the sake of things, let's go ahead. If I right mouse click and then go down to properties, it's a total of 20, size on the disk is over 20 megabytes. It's 163 files in 21 folders. I cancel this so we see. Now, if I double click on views and reviews, I've got a few folders and I got a whole bunch of files. If I then click on here, I've got subfolders. And if I click on another one, I've got yet another subfolder. So we can move up, we can move up. And so again, we've got 3 folders. We've got a whole bunch of files here. When I say a whole bunch of files, we've got a whole bunch of files. I have now copied those files over to my USB stick, which I can then eject, and I can put it on any computer, or I can carry it with me. And that's what Chris and Edith were trying to do. And I tried to help them earlier with an earlier video, but it looks like it's a lot easier now using Drive for Windows. It just, you can pick and choose whatever you want. So if I just want to add one file to this, let's say, let's move up one level, and let's say we just want to take one file here. So let's go to a background here. This is the background I use on my Chromebook. I am going to click and drag it over here. It copies it and it's there. So I can move one file, I can move a whole folder with subfolders and subfolders and files within it very easily using Drive for Windows. When I was putting this presentation together, someone asked about Drive for Windows and Google Photos. So let's talk about that. How about adding photos and videos from Google Drive to Google Photos? To organize your photos and videos across services, you can add photos from Google Drive to Google Photos. But before you get started, the photo must be larger than 256 pixels. The file type must be a JPEG, a GIF, a WEBP, a TIFF, or a .RAW. If you use a Google account through your work or school, you'll have to download from Google Drive and re-upload to Google Photos. This also is true in my case, where my Google Drive that I use for most of my files is a different account than my Google Photos. So in those cases, you have to download from Google Drive, then re-upload to Google Photos. However, to add photos and videos from Google Drive to Google Photos on your computer, you go to photos.google.com. I'm going to demonstrate this when I finish these couple of slides. At the top right, click Upload and then Google Drive. Find and select your photos and click Upload. Check your storage. Your photos and videos are stored using your Google account's storage space. Items copied from Google Drive to Google Photos are backed up based on your upload size. If you copy an item from Google Drive to Google Photos, the new copy in Google Photos will also count against your storage. Learn how to change your upload size. So what happens when you change or delete a photo? Any changes you make in Drive will only apply to Drive. Any changes you make in Photos will only apply to Photos. Let's do a demo. Next, what we're going to do is add some photos from Google Drive to Google Photos. We've opened up photos.google.com, so we're in our Google Photos website. You'll notice over here on the right, you go to Upload. You click it, and you have the choice of either a computer or Google Drive. We're going to choose Google Drive. It shows the recent files, but we want to go to My Drive. And in My Drive, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Photos. And I've got a folder with some photos I want to upload, and that's here. I have 3 photos. So I will highlight all 3 of them, come down here and click Upload. It's uploading all 3. It's now put them on our Google Photos. It has today's date, but it has all 3 of those photos, and they're there. And that's how easy it is now to upload from Google Drive to your Google Photos. You do have those photos saved on your Google Photos. This has been Google's helpful Drive for Desktop, which is new in July of 2021. I'm Hewie Poplock. Thank you.